Okay, we're back for part 2 and phase 2 of my PD on Chromebooks during literacy 3 through 5. So now that you're in phase 2, this is where in the stream of Google Classroom, teachers are creating assignments for students and they're utilizing those sites that we added in that About tab. Now, you can either use those sites or when you get to phase 2, you can also use traditional printed text. So I want teachers to know that you can do both. So when you're in phase 2, then a teacher's going to start attaching a graphic organizer, or they're going to be also going to be utilizing some type of a web tool that promotes higher level thinking. So now you're thinking, okay, give me some examples of that because I need to see it. Okay, so with the K-2 teachers, I talked about Christine Pinto and how she's great to follow on Twitter. If you're in grades 3 through 5 and up, I highly suggest that you follow Matt Miller. And so I have the link over here to follow him on Twitter. He's the author of Ditch That Textbook, and he recently published with Alice Keeler, Ditch That Homework. Matt has a link, and I have a link on here that will take you out to his blog post. He's already created 15 free Google Drawing graphic organizers, and even tells you how to make your own. And so basically, you don't have to start off by making a graphic organizer yourself. So here is an example of one of the ones that Matt has, and that's why I like it. It says insert your title here. So I was actually doing a model lesson with one of these today. So we went out to Wonderopolis, and the students and I found an article, Why Do Dogs Chase Their Tails? And after they did that, then we added the title in here, and I gave them a link specifically to the article. After they've read the article, or actually while they're reading the article, I want them to complete the graphic organizer as they go. It's an easy one for you guys to be able to have as an assignment in Google Classroom for stations. But again, model this first before you actually put it into stations. You could actually even model this one whole class without every kid on a Chromebook. You could do it together using your projector and screen. Okay, so that is one example. Another example, our district uses Smeckens Education Solutions. If you're not familiar with Smeckens Education, they are a consulting company that will help you out with different things with literacy and also 6 traits writing. So we utilize a lot of their graphic organizers. Okay, so this one, for example, is a Smeckens graphic organizer called Ride the Story Plot. Okay, so what I basically did was I turned that graphic organizer into a digital piece that we can use. So I added boxes within it, so that way the students could actually type it in here. I actually have directions off to the side. So again, you're adding a link to the article or the story that you're wanting them to do. And then afterwards, then they are going to complete the chart. Okay. And again, this doesn't have to be digital text. It could be printed text as well. Okay. So again, adding that assignment in Google Classroom at your stations. All right. Another option is going to the site wiser.me. I like to call it Google Forms on steroids. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm going to pull up a link to their gallery, and on there, I'm going to show you an example of the one that you see to the side here, prepositional phrases, just to give you a snapshot of what it will do. So I'm inside of it now. So basically, you can embed a video, which I know in Google Forms you can do that. I can have multiple choice questions, which again, you can do that in Google Forms. But once you get down here where you're asking the kids to record at least 5 prepositions that you heard mentioned in the video, a student can type their answer, but also notice the accessibility feature of recording their answer. So what I told my 3 to 5 teachers this morning, you're going to have some students that have special needs in your class. And when you do, having these additional accessibility features is going to be very beneficial to you. Another way that it's different, or it's an added feature separate from Google Forms, it has drag and drop. So I can sort which is a preposition, which is not. Okay. I also have an annotation option. I can upload a picture, which granted, this one's kind of grainy, but I can ask them to do something with it and the kids can actually annotate on top of it. Now, when I told the teachers this morning, I said, so think about either a picture book or a novel that you're reading in class, and how can you integrate that skill of prepositional phrases with it. Snap a photo of the inside of that book and have them apply what they know about prepositional phrases within authentic text. Okay? So again, that is Wiser Me. All right, next, we're going to move on to phase 3. Okay? Now, phase 3, and I feel like that I have several teachers right now that are at phase 1, phase 2. They're really good at phase 1 and phase 2. And they might think, okay, I'm good. I don't really need to be doing anything else. This is as far as what I need to go. And that's really not our end goal. Our end goal is that you're moving in and out of these once you get really good at them. Once you've passed through the 4 phases, then you're kind of mixing in between them. Phase 3, what I told our teachers to do is, I want this to be your goal. I want you to get beyond phase 2 and get into phase 3. Try phase 3. Why? Because phase 3, it says teachers are creating assignments that go beyond a digital worksheet. I'm fully aware that when you're using a graphic organizer and those things, that's low level. Okay, when we talk about tech integration, yeah, they are just filling in, a digital form of a worksheet. However, if I asked a teacher to start using Chromebooks and they instantly need to be at phase 4, they're not going to do it, or they're going to get very frustrated, because if you're lower tech, you need that solid ground to get ready to reach that phase. So that's why I have these different phases implemented for you. So when you get to phase 3, again, it's beyond the digital worksheet, and you're providing multimedia opportunities. Once you're comfortable, you're giving the students more choice. So hopefully you see why that's our goal. We want student choice, and we want multimedia opportunities for the students. It's more engaging for them. So we're going to talk about some tools that allow you to do that. I have a lot of teachers that will say, well, okay, so you have up a picture of Seesaw. And when I think of Seesaw in Google Classroom, I've always thought of it as, I need to use Seesaw or I need to use Google Classroom. And my answer is, no, I want you to use both. Okay. The tools that are already integrated within Seesaw are so nice and easy to use that simply on your Google Classroom, in the About tab, just have a link that connects out to your Seesaw account. Okay. Now, I know you see a picture of an iPad, but Seesaw can be used on a Chromebook or an iPad. And again, it's going to empower students independently to document what they're learning at school, and they have different options to show what they know. Now, when I was doing the same PD for K-2, I pulled up, so inside of Seesaw, I can actually do a video recording of the assignment that I want the kids to do. So again, you're mixing it up. Sometimes I may have an article, they do a graphic organizer, but then as we get used to that, then I need to start mixing it up, because if I do nothing but that all the time, it's not very engaging anymore. So then I'm going to start to mix it up with Seesaw. So then I add into there a video of me talking about what I want the kids to do. So in this video clip, I used it for K-2, but I basically said, after you read this book, I'm going to have you share an interesting fact. Now, I recorded a separate video on here as well. And when I recorded that video, I talked about how you can incorporate different books. I held up historical tweets. So basically modeling historical tweets, and then I'm asking the students to come up with their own historical tweets where they get to videotape themselves. I hold up the book Toys, Amazing Stories Behind Some Great Inventions, and I ask the students to cite text evidence. They can do that through a video recording, or they can snap a photo and annotate it and record their voice over the top of that. But do you see how I'm allowing them different choice? So I wanted you to see that option. Okay. That's going to wrap up part 2. I'm actually going to have to split this into 3 videos, and I will do that now.